Hey YouTubers, I think this is going to be my last video today, and this one is going to be basically under body. And what I want to talk about is carbohydrates. As I said before, I'm a personal trainer and nutritionist, and I'm a licensed massage therapist. I'm also a pro natural bodybuilder, and I've been doing this for over 25 years. I have clients and all that good stuff, but I don't want to get on all that. What I want to talk about a little bit is about carbohydrates, and I'm going to do a series, and I might do even some exercise videos. Let me know what you guys want, and if you want me to do some exercise videos, I will. I mean, there's thousands of them on there, but let me, you guys need to understand something. There are going to be good trainers out there, and there are going to be bad trainers, but I'm going to tell you how you spot a bad one right off. If you don't get a diet from your trainer, of course you have to pay for it. But if you don't get a diet or nutrition counseling from your trainer, you're wasting your time. Okay? Now, let me define what I mean by waste your time. What I mean is that you will have some incremental improvements if you just work out and you don't change your diet. But if you want to transform your body, you're going to have to control what you eat. And what you have to do is look at food, not whether food is healthy. One of the biggest mistakes people make about whether something is healthy or not. Nuts are healthy, but they're very, very high in calories, and you eat enough of them, you're going to get fat and you're going to die. Well, not in that order. But I'm saying you need to understand that there's no such thing as healthy food as it relates to healthy or unhealthy as it relates to your caloric intake and how much the nutrients that you need in your body. So get healthy and unhealthy out of your head. That's a secondary thing. It's not that it's not something you need to be concerned with, but it's secondary. The primary thing you need to be concerned with is carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. You have to understand those. Those are macronutrients, and you have to understand those thoroughly. Because basically whatever you do as it relates to exercise is going to be the thing that's going to turbocharge your eating. I want to speak just a little bit about carbohydrates. This is what you have to know, and I want you to challenge me on this, and you go check for yourself. I want to talk a little bit about Dr. Atkins and why the Atkins diet works. And I don't want to get into the weeds on this unless you really want to know. But Dr. Atkins actually scared the heck out of mainstream nutrition and everything, because he was actually a scientist, and he understood how the body worked. And this is what he understood fundamentally. The body needs 0 carbohydrates to function. 0. Now you're going to read them. You're going to read the American Medical Journal. They're going to be dietitians. They're going to be a lot of people are going to tell you that that's just not true. It is absolutely true. You don't need 1 carbohydrate in your body to function. Now you do need fat. You do need fat and protein, but you do not need carbohydrates. Now, you can put carbohydrates into your diet, but I suggest that you come to a person who's experienced and show you how to eat carbohydrates so that you can be healthy and strong and whole thing. So I'm not down on carbohydrates. I just want to make an emphatic statement so you can understand where it is that I'm coming from. Because I eat carbohydrates, and I can manipulate carbohydrates in a way to get very, very lean. If I want to put on some more mass, the whole thing. So carbohydrates are great, especially when you know how to use them. Now, carbohydrates are broken down into 3 different categories: fibrous carbohydrates, complex carbohydrates, and then simple carbohydrates. Now, fibrous carbohydrates do fall under complex carbohydrates, and that's easy. It's your greens, dark green vegetables. Those are your fibrous carbohydrates. Now, there are fibrous carbohydrates that you can get, which are grains and things of that nature, but you don't need grains in your diet. It doesn't make you more healthy that if you eat grains. You don't ever have to eat grains. But again, if you want me to talk specifically about that, I can. But you need fibrous carbohydrates, okay? And then another video I'm going to talk about salt too, and I'm going to tell you why salt is bad for you, because a lot of people never tell you why salt is bad. And it has to do with what salt is really comprised of, because like Mediterranean salt, kosher salt, true sea salt is actually good for you because of the trace minerals that are in it. But again, that's another video. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Carbohydrates, you have to control your carbohydrates. And there's different ways you could do it. You can do it through what's called an active metabolic rate or the resting metabolic rate, which is what they call the intermittent fast diet. And I can talk about that as well. But suffice it to say this. You have to be able to control your carbohydrates. Men and women are going to be different based upon the carbohydrate intake, but your body needs to have about 80% complex carbohydrates and 20% simple carbohydrates. And in the other videos, if you want, I'll explain to you exactly how to compute it so that you'll know how many carbohydrates you need in your diet, depending on how active you are. Because all people can't have the same diet, even if they have the same genetics. Whether it be, or different body types, whether it be mesomorph, endomorph, or ectomorph body types, but most people are a combination of those. There's very few people that are just 100% either of those body types. But carbohydrates, you have to get control of them. And if you don't, then you will never ever reach your fitness goals. You will always be holding excess body fat because carbohydrates, and if you look in nature, you'll almost never, 99.9% of the time, there are a few exceptions. There's nuts and there's some other things. But in nature, you will almost never find a food that is high in carbohydrates and also high in fat. Not in nature. Only through human beings. Cookies and pies and cakes. Oh my, and all that nonsense. But you'll never usually find a high protein food, and I'm sorry, not a high protein food, but a high fat food and a high carbohydrate food in nature. Very, very rare. Very few exceptions to the rule. So anyway, if you like this video, thumbs it up. If you want to know any specific questions about training or diet, I'd be more than willing to help you guys out. Thanks a lot. Have a good night. Bye.